So lately I've seen a lot of sales on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE, and you may be wondering if it's worth buying because I've seen it as low as $350. That's pretty much been the regular sale price on it. So that does bring up the question, is it worth buying over other tablets around this price range? Well, I want to talk about that in this full video. So with all that being said, let's talk about the Tab S9 FE and if it's worth it. So I have talked a lot about the Tab S9 FE on my channel. I've reviewed it. I've also given a little bit of an updated review as well because it's a very popular tablet. A lot of people are looking for a good mid-range tablet that does meet their needs. And you might be wondering if it's worth it for you, especially with all the sales that we're seeing in the US. Remember that the Tab S9 FE, it did retail for closer to $500, but now seeing it for around $350, and I know if you check those links, sales do change, and sometimes they really make it $450 for a week, just so they could pretend it's not always on sale, and then they throw it back down to $350 again. So you might see that off and on, but generally speaking, it's been around $350. So is it worth it for you? Well, I do think it does depend, of course, on who you are. There's a lot of users out there who have commented about the S9 FE and they really think it's not quite good enough. After all, if you look at the design is great. It's very thin, it's very lightweight, and we do have our USB-C port, of course, for charging, but that USB-C port, it does not connect to a monitor. So even though this tablet has Samsung Dex, you cannot connect to a monitor with the FE, the S9 FE, or the S9 FE Plus. And that might be a deal breaker for some of you who want to get productive by connecting your tablet to some type of monitor. So there are some minor compromises with the design and with other parts of the tablet. We do have a fingerprint reader, power button, so we don't have it in the screen, and some of you might prefer that. We don't have AMOLED in the display, but we still get a very gorgeous display nonetheless. But some people really prefer AMOLED, but I want to remind you, now that we're at $350, at least in the US, for the price that we're seeing very, very often, is AMOLED really necessary for this price? We're seeing a 90 Hz display with a very good resolution. Everything looks terrific whenever I'm watching content. It does get more than bright enough. And whenever you use that S Pen, it does come with an S Pen. And that's where a lot of this value comes in. Because a lot of tablets around $350, not only do they not have AMOLED, they normally don't have a pen either. And even if you see something like the OnePlus Pad or the Google Pixel tablet, even if those tablets go on sale around $300 or around $350, they're not going to come with a stylus. So Samsung, they have a unique advantage with their tablets. First off, this tablet is water resistant, which is a really big deal. And secondly, it also has better software than a lot of other tablets out there, and it does have Samsung Dex. Those are pretty massive advantages, not to mention the fact that Samsung does much better with software updates compared to all of the other competitors. So if you're looking for a stable, reliable tablet that's going to get consistent updates, that's going to come with an S Pen, that's going to be really a jack of all trades, I would say this Samsung tablet is it. And the software is much more optimized than you're going to find on something like a OnePlus Pad or even on the Google Pixel tablet. So I think that's a huge advantage for Samsung. The only real negative with this tablet, outside of the fact that it won't connect to a monitor, and that might be a deal breaker for some people, the only other really big caveat you have to think about is performance. So really the big two negative things about the Tab S9 FE that we really have to consider. Number one, it does not connect to that monitor with USB-C. And that is a big deal breaker for some people. But the second thing we do have to discuss is the fact that this does have slightly slower performance than some other competitors. This does run on an Exynos 1380 processor, and I know some of you run away immediately when you hear Exynos, and I do get that. And this tablet does have 6 GB of RAM, which is more than good enough for most of the stuff I'm really doing. So, when you look at that performance, I know some people might say it's a little bit worse than the OnePlus Pad or the Google Pixel tablet. If we're comparing sale prices, you might compare it to some other devices out there, or maybe you might compare it to some overseas tablets that have much better performance. And I would absolutely say yes. If you're looking at some Chinese manufacturers, you are definitely going to get better hardware for the money. Samsung is really trying to provide better software. So if you just want the best hardware, well, yeah, you are going to have to go with another company from China probably to get the absolute best hardware for the money. This tablet is going to perform very similar to something like the Galaxy A35 5G, or it's going to perform similar to something like the Galaxy A54 5G. So if you've seen those devices and their performance, you'll get similar performance here. It is going to be a step below that flagship level, absolutely. And if you are doing a little bit too much on it, you might notice a little bit of lag. And it's not going to be an absolute high-end chip as far as gaming. But despite that, you're still going to get a very good experience. I'm not seeing any overheating. It is more than fast enough when I am going from app to app. So the S9 FE is still one of the better tablets to buy. In fact, it is my go-to tablet right now that I am using because it's so affordable. If you even go on the used market, you could find some really good deals on this. If you're finding it for $350 new, that means you could go to Best Buy's open box section, and if you find it on sale for $350, typically the open box deals might be around $300 or around $250 or so. And if you find it on sale for those type of prices, with an S Pen and with everything this tablet has, that is a great deal on the used market. And for $350, I do think that it's a great deal for those of you wanting a good, reliable, mid-range tablet. You're just gonna have to be okay with those compromises of no AMOLED and with slightly slower performance. What I'm seeing is two different sides here. If you're someone coming from a Galaxy A lineup device, if you're coming from a device like the Tab A9 Plus, you're gonna see a nice jump up going to the Tab S9 FE. And if you're someone coming from a high-end device like the Galaxy S24 Ultra or something, or the S23 Ultra, or even a base model Galaxy S24, those people have those high-end Snapdragon chips. They have 120 Hertz. They have AMOLED displays. So those people are typically a little more picky, and they tend to notice a little bit of sluggishness off and on, or they tend to notice that this doesn't have AMOLED. So it really depends on who you are and what your expectations are. Check your expectations at the door. This is a mid-range tablet with mid-range performance, but I do think that when you factor in the whole picture, Samsung software support, Samsung Dex, the S Pen coming in the box, and if you factor in the sales, I do think for $350, it is definitely worth it. I probably wouldn't pay the $450, I wouldn't pay $500 for this tablet because we are seeing it on sale so much. It's just not really worth that price, especially with all the competition we're gonna see out there. But for $300, for $350, even for $375 or $380, I would say the Tab S9 FE is a very good deal even today. So hopefully this does help you to figure out the tablet market a little bit. Again, if you want some better hardware, there are better options out there. I will say that. Maybe you'll find something a little bit faster, but you won't get that S Pen. Maybe you'll find something that's a little bit better overall for you, but you won't get that Samsung software. So if you don't care about Samsung software and their software updates, if you just want something fast, I know the OnePlus Pad, if you find it on sale, the Google Pixel tablet, there's gonna be a lot of really good options for you. And those tablets are very, very good as well. But the S9 FE, it really does pack a punch in its own way. So I really hope you consider that and really consider what's best for you. That's what my channel is all about. I'm trying to find the right audience for the right product. So if this did help you, please give me a like and please give me a sub. That does mean a lot. If you want to check out some other content on my channel, I talk a lot about Android tablets. So feel free to check those other videos out as well and use those links in the description. If you are looking to buy, that is a huge way to support me as a smaller creator, and it really would mean a lot. So thank you so much for watching again. I hope you have a great day, and I really, really hope you enjoy your week.